Hey, this is the Entertainment Advice Channel. What I want to talk about today is the topic of the problem with realistic movies. So, for this video, I'm going to discuss the problem with realistic movies when it comes to the problems they create for the film industry, as a part of my channel where we give advice on what can be done in order to make movies better, let alone entertainment as a whole better. So, as a result, this is one of the topics I'll be discussing, as this is something that desperately, urgently needs to be discussed, okay, as it's a big problem in the movie industry, and it's definitely something as a result that definitely needs to be discussed. Okay, so now I mentioned that, let's get started. So when it comes to the first problem with realistic movies, which I think should come as no surprise to people when it comes to problems that they create, is that first and foremost, they tend to be very boring. Okay, because the truth of the matter about realistic movies, and this is of course a very controversial topic that has been going on for years. How do you make a movie that is realistic and actually not boring? Okay, because the truth of the matter is, like everything in the world, people want a bit of variety. And not all the time people want to watch a movie of some guy who happens to be gifted and just goes in a place and shoots up a bunch of people, and as a result of shooting up a bunch of people, he some way somehow wins, and of course the story is done. It's not all the time in life people want to watch movies like that. Sometimes people want to watch something that is more realistic, down to earth, and is actually, as a result, very interesting in its own way. Okay, but the truth of the matter is, realistic movies, like a lot of things, they work best if they're only done really well. And the problem with realistic movies is that they just tend to be very boring, because the people tend to focus on adding an unnecessary level of detail instead of actually focusing on actually covering the story with a proper format, a proper balance between story and of course action scenes. They cover it in a boring way. Okay, with a good example of course of that being movies like Jarhead, The Hurt Locker, another movie that apparently was considered extremely realistic, that I heard was quite boring, is Interstellar. Like, things like that are an example of a movie that's realistic that is goddamn fucking boring. Okay, that is the honest truth of the matter. Okay, so the truth of the matter is, to put it bluntly, okay, if a movie is realistic, it has to be interesting, to put it bluntly, as a whole. Okay, and that is the honest truth of the matter. Okay, and there are actually some good examples of movies that are realistic that are actually not boring, believe it or not, like Boys in the Hood, which, even if you're not into rap music, let alone their whole rap culture, ghetto slash topic as a whole, for whatever reason, you can at least simply say that movie was good, maybe because it's very realistic. It wasn't a shoot 'em up, which at the time was extremely common in movies, especially hood movies, where a guy just magically gets a gun and shoots up a bunch of people. No, it actually consists of somebody shooting people, but done in a way that's actually realistic and believable. That makes it actually interesting and enjoyable to watch, and the storyline is actually interesting. It's definitely a perfect example of a movie that's actually realistic, that's actually not boring. Okay, and there's definitely other ones out there that actually make something that's realistic but not actually boring, because sometimes people want something that's realistic, not something that's just another shoot 'em up sort of thing. Okay, but that is a problem with realistic movies, is that they tend to focus too much on making every single goddamn fucking thing realistic. Okay, like, which just gets ridiculous. Like, okay, like, yes, we're making a movie that's realistic, but do we have to like make it like a 3-hour movie where, like, for 2 hours, let alone sometimes 3 hours, literally nothing interesting happens? No, but that's a problem with realistic movies. You just have a bunch of unnecessary character development. It's very boring, and as a result, it just comes off as something not only boring, but actually a chore to watch, and it just kills your interest instead of something that has a good balance between story and action scenes, which is a big problem with realistic movies because they tend to actually just focus too much on fucking action, or well, not even action, just storylines, and it just gets really boring, and it just tries too hard to be too realistic. To be honest with you, like, okay, this guy might get in a fight with somebody, but because, and he's really good at his craft, but somehow he struggles to fight against like even 2 opponents or 3 opponents, which actually historically, especially in the case of using history movies as an example, is actual bullshit. There are documented accounts of people in the past being able, good quality warriors, very good quality warriors, being able to take down anywhere from 3 to 5 to even more opponents at once. It's just that to get to that level, it's extremely bullshit, really hard. But it's something that did happen, okay? And there are documented cases, even for more modern warfare, of that happening too. It does happen, but it's, of course, no shit, very rare. So the truth of the matter I'm trying to get across here is that you can have things that are realistic, but it can still be something that's actually still, of course, interesting, instead of just being extremely boring, tedious, and just tiresome and like, oh my goodness, oh, here we go, another attempt to get an Oscar award. Like, it just gets kind of cliche and annoying and boring and just tiresome, and it just really tiring and boring to watch, okay? And that's the honest truth about it, okay? So that's one of the biggest problems with them, is that they're boring, and that is definitely something that needs to be worked on, okay? So that's my first point. The second point, of course, no shit, of course, is the toxic culture it creates. Okay, this one is definitely a very, very, very true one. It creates a very toxic culture where, if realistic movies are in, people expect you, of course, no shit, if you're a filmmaker at least, to make a movie that's realistic. And if it comes off as something that's not realistic, people will hate on it and say, oh, that would never happen in real life. But that's kind of the premise of a movie. It's not supposed to be realistic, because the point of a movie, okay, is the problem with thing about a movie is a movie is supposed to be a what if scenario. Like, for example, as we all know, in the world we live in, we don't have things like magic, okay? We don't have maybe some other things that you see in the movies. But the point of a movie that makes a movie interesting is that it brings up a question of, what if there was magic? What if maybe there were exosuits that gave human beings superhuman strength, let alone superhuman abilities, okay? What if that was possible, or just different things? And that's exactly what I'm trying to get at here. And this is where using critical thinking comes in a mix, because the movie's supposed to be interesting, in a sense of not only a what if scenario, it's supposed to give the best experience, and obviously the best experience tend to be things that are not really realistic. Besides, a movie is just simply, to sum it up, is meant for entertainment. It's just something that, of course, is not meant to be something that's exactly realistic. Some people just want to watch a movie for entertainment, not just, oh, is it realistic or not? But when you tell us to those realistic people, they get so pissed, and they just simply are unwilling to understand it, and are just straight up sometimes even rude, and that is so dumb, to be honest with you, okay? And biggest one of all, which my point is actually trying to get at here for my second main point for this video, is that they create a toxic culture where if a movie is, of course, not so-called realistic, they'll go online and go on online forums saying this movie's stupid, it will never happen in real life, which is kind of dumb, because a point of a movie is supposed to be something that's meant to be entertainment, not supposed to be something word for word, something that happened in real life, which is so fucking dumb, but they do it all the time, and you confront them about it and they just get angry at you, and they just actually create a culture where people who are filmmakers are not willing to make movies that are entertaining because they're afraid they're going to get criticism from those people, which is so dumb. And that is the biggest problem with them. And I see that happen a lot, from everything from history movies to another one that's very guilty of it, everything from, of course, let's not forget as well, magic movies, and of course the other biggest one, sci-fi movies. They always do it all the time, and it creates a culture where it kills the quality of movies, because everybody who's a filmmaker is scared, if I make a movie, people are going to criticize it as being a brain dead movie for the masses, instead of just being a movie that's meant to be entertaining. And that is the second biggest problem with realistic movies. It creates that culture of, okay, everything has to be realistic, which is just simply stupid. And that's the honest truth here. So anyway, this is my video where I discuss the problem with realistic movies, you know, and this is just constructive criticism of it, you know, which of course I'm not against realistic movies, but this is just a critique of it because I hear these things all the time. And simply put it, when it comes to realistic movies, they're very good. I mean, they're very good. I don't hate the genre, but the truth of the matter is they need to confront these issues. And if they confront these issues, then we can obviously have the best movie experience possible, as there will be something not only that has a realistic movie that's produced well, but also something that, of course, no shit, doesn't get in the way of other types of movie genres. Okay, so there's something for everyone, and as a result, there, to be more specific, there's something to keep everybody happy. And that is the honest truth here. So anyway, this is my video. This is all I have to say. Simply put it, if you like this video, remember to thumbs this video up and the subscribe button. And simply put, I'm out. So bye.